Welcome back, everybody, to the analyst desk here on the Academy stream, where we are getting into our second series of the day here. And it is, of course, Taco Tuesday. It's Taco Gaming up against Supernova. We're going to have a great time. Of course, we just saw in the first match of the day, it was EGP that took a 2-0 win over their opponents in AoE randoms. And over on the Path to LCS stream, I believe AoE and 300 were locked in a 1-to-1 battle. So we'll have to see who ends up coming on top in that one. But Taco Gaming up against Supernova. What a great matchup we have today. It's the second seed against the third seed in the group. And of course, we're also joined by a new guest. Shogo, how you doing and what are you thinking about these teams?
I'm good. I think both teams are really exciting to watch. I have some good friends on both sides. Rovex used to be my roommate last semester, and we're very good friends. Pluto, also my close friend. So I think this will be very, very exciting to watch. Obviously, it's a Tuesday.
Did you say
so
you have a lot of supportive friends in your life?
Absolutely, yeah. All my friends are support mates.
Sorry, keep going.
Spoken like a true ADC.
But yeah, it's gonna be a really exciting matchup, and it's a Tuesday, so you already know what to expect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you always got to be on the lookout for that Taco Tuesday. In the last split, at least, Taco Gaming, they were like undefeated on Tuesdays against everyone that was not named Immortals AoE, which is kind of a crazy stat to think about. Of course, we have our caster predictions for this game, so maybe we can take a look at what they think is going to happen on this sacred day as we can pull those ones up. And seems like we're pretty much in agreement here on the board.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna give it to Dylan because Dylan used to be the coach for Supernova. There, he has to vote Supernova. Beatdown though, I'm interested to know why Beatdown voted Supernova. Maybe he's got some insight here on Taco Tuesday. Maybe the Supernova has some secret buff coming in.
Yeah. Well, and Beatdown had some spicy picks yesterday. I don't remember what it was specifically now, but I know that he picked it. Oh, he picked Cincinnati Fear, I think. I think he was one of those people. I could be wrong. Maybe you can get fact checked. But either way, Beatdown, maybe a little controversial. I think he was our prediction king in one of the qualifiers last split. So maybe, just maybe, he knows something that we don't. I don't know. But either way, we have our own predictions here on the analyst desk. We also did the bingo card. We're going to bring that one back up for you guys. We're not doing so hot. We only got 2 squares in the last series. We did get Doxa Zoe. It was banned away from Doxa in game number 1. We also got the melee mid in both the Yasuo Yone brothers coming out. So we're getting closer to that bingo. Shogo, you think we're finally going to get it here today?
I think it's going to be a 2-0 for Taco Gaming. It's a Tuesday, and you know, I believe in City Witty supremacy.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There you have it. Yeah.
I like how your roommate was Rovex, but you're going with the City Witty supremacy.
You gotta give credit where credit is due, and City has been playing out of his mind. But I think it's gonna be interesting to see because Ariendo has been so consistent in being a good facilitator for Actor. And we'll have to see how this plays out because I think Ariendo did a really good job facilitating for the rest of his team.
Yeah, I mean, City Witty had a crazy Kha'Zix pop-off game in the OQ on stream, which I think is where that meme came from. Thank you very much, Hyper, for that beautiful Taco Tuesday meme right there. And definitely that sweep is something we have on the bingo card, that classic Taco Tuesday sweep. In the head-to-head, look at that. City Witty looking pretty impressive so far, RMC.
Yeah, and I think, though, we should also look at Actor on the other hand of things, because Actor was a very hot jungle pickup in the off-season, did try out for a couple of teams, and Supernova managed him there. And you can see that while City Witty's popping off 4.8 KDA is absolutely massive, Actor has a 76% kill participation as well as that 3.2 KDA. And the reason why it's not higher for Actor is because he does get targeted and does get hunted down in a lot of these games. So I think the jungle matchup, despite City Witty's experience here and Shogo's confidence, I think Actor actually is a good matchup into him, and it might get a little bit more competitive than what we saw or what we might otherwise expect from a veteran versus a newer player.
Ironically, I think that, you know, we have the Kindred on the graphic there, something that Actor is very well known for. I think it was City Witty's Kha'Zix against Kindred in the game that he popped off in the open qualifier. I just think that's really funny. City clearly comfortable in the matchup, and jungle definitely going to be a focus. And I think that's fair to say. City Witty is such an insane playmaker, but it's not just the jungle. Of course, when you are a jungler, you need your lanes to help facilitate you. And I think we're all sort of on the same page that the solo lanes will be those lanes that are definitely the side that we are focusing on to be those major facilitators. Shogo?
Yeah, so I think, as I said before, Ariendo has been very good at facilitating for Actor and allowing him to be the super carry that he is. On the other hand, Eclipse has done the same for City, right? We've seen insane synergy between the two, and I think it's just a good clash of different playstyles. And it's just going to be really interesting to see what happens.
All right, well, it's time for our predictions. Is the Taco Tuesday going to come through? Do we believe in the prophecy? I know what the answer is for Shogo. I think we've already heard it. 2-0?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Taco Gaming has looked really impressive, and despite Supernova looking impressive too, they're no match on a Tuesday.
All right, RMC, are you also jumping on the bandwagon?
You know what? I voted 2-0 for randoms earlier. That was my spicy pick for the day. For game 2, I'm going with wiser hits here. Everybody saw me Taco. Fine, I'll go with Taco. Like Shogo said, man, it's Taco Tuesday. How could we vote otherwise?
Yeah, we'll line up 3 tacos right in front of us. We're gonna eat those good if Taco ends up winning, or we're gonna look really, really foolish. Maybe it was a bad taco or something, but we are all in agreement. Taco Tuesday. 2-0. I mean, I think there's no other way. But either way, only time can tell. We're just about ready to get into game number 1. So make sure you all stay tuned. We're going to toss over to Grapes and Rude Dude for this draft.
Thank you, Hawk. Man, first of all, I got to say, this is such a tough matchup for me because it's like Taco Gaming, my team from like last spring versus Supernova, my team from last summer, and now they're facing against each other. I have to like pick between my favorite children, it seems like, Rude.
How many children do you have?
Well, I have these two. Also, I have GVU, which 2 of the players for Supernova are on. There's just like there's a lot of bias, but it's coming from so many different ways that I don't really know if it's gonna come through. But I'm really excited for the series. I know the desk kind of picked 2-0s throughout for the side of Taco Gaming. I know both of us had Taco Gaming favored in terms of the caster predictions, but I think this actually has the potential to be a pretty exciting matchup.
Yeah, this is the first look then for Taco Gaming since Proving Ground Spring, and they were actually the only team to take a game off of an academy team. They took down Evil Genius's academy and then ended up falling in the lower bracket still, but like I said, the only amateur team to get away with taking a win. This is that fresh rebuild for Taco Gaming to try and prove themselves more worthy in Proving Ground Summer if they can get to that stage as well. So starts out here with this game up against Supernova, who again have gone for a fresh rebuild, starting out primarily with their mid laner from last split. Ariandel is the only returning member of their roster to now try and influence the side lanes, influence their jungler, and that is really the role that I think we want to hem in on a little bit more, because for Supernova, their new jungler Actor is certainly one to excite.
Yeah, I talked a little bit to Zoo about how the roster for Supernova ended up getting filled in, and the first piece really was Ariendo. They wanted the team to be built around him, and for them, you know, with a big facilitating player like Ariendo, having a very, very strong, aggressive jungler like Actor just really fits well with this team. And so I'm really excited to see how that one matches up, because on the other side, for Taco Gaming, they've got a pretty strong jungler of their own. They've got City Witty.
Yeah, they do. It's a very exciting prospect from Amateur that we were hoping to, see really great things from as well. And paired up with a really strong top laner in Eclipse, just down from Academy as well. There's certainly a lot of there's still a lot of top side focus that we want to focus on for this game. It revolves largely around the junglers and which of their solo lanes can make the most of their advantages.
And I think that's just what we're going to have to keep our eyes on here as we head into the draft for game number 1. It's a best of 3 again. Supernova starting off this time on the blue side as the higher seeded Taco chose red. In terms of where we want to focus, I believe probably a lot of those power picks will have to be taken away on the side of Taco Gaming, being that red side. That's kind of the tax you have to pay.
Yeah, but they're in this weird hole on red side because Acta is a very proficient Kindred player and has been playing a lot of Kayn as well recently. So I think that this is the sort of Zoe effect, I suppose, that Doxa had, where I would want them to ban away Kindred just regardless of what side they're on, because if Acta can get a hold of that, it makes your game infinitely harder. But then you're quite right in mentioning the likes of the very important power picks.
We talk about Kindred for Actor. There's also Kindred for Citywoody. He played it very, very well in the open qualifier. Kha'Zix as well. A lot of really explosive assassins, really high damage picks here for both the junglers here. It'll be interesting to see how the trade ends up going.
They might leave Kindred up in exchange for taking Kha'Zix. There's a really good matchup for the Kha'Zix, and they could just say, you know what, you can have your power pick. I'm going to have this one that just absolutely dumpsters on Kindred, and they may just look for this mind game, I suppose. And to that extent, Supernova, with having the first of the third bans, are going to have to, you know, either make their statement in that regard. They can either ban the Kha'Zix and then it forces Taco Gaming to maybe ban the Kindred, or they can leave up the Kha'Zix open and then Taco Gaming say, hey, okay, you can have your Kindred and we'll play for this jungle trade.
Right now, on the side of Taco Gaming, we are seeing a lot of focus towards Karma and Talia. Champions that, you know, in the mid lane at least, can get a lot of priority and get access to the rest of the map. Something that Ariandel really likes to do. Another one of those instances being Galio. Not sure how B1able Galio is, so maybe they save it towards later on in the draft. But either way, looks like Ariandel, the focus here for Taco Gaming. Final Jax up against Eclipse, which is really interesting because Jax typically used in a counter matchup. Maybe they want to set up a blind pick early on for Meslo.
Could be going for a Gwen early. Jax has been the counter pick to the Gwen, and also Camille as well, which then also raises the stocks of Galio in the mid lane for Ariandel. So there's a lot of nuance to this Jax ban immediately. And you can see, right, Taco Gaming know that this is a common Gwen counter pick. If you're setting up for a Jax, then we'll take away the Gwen. We do have those two power picks in the jungle, the Kindred and potential Kha'Zix that Citywoody has as an answer, but we'll have to see because Wukong is still open, and if we want to go just true meta, Supernova may just look to default back to that.
Yeah, big power picks are still available. Wukong, Ezreal, Lucian, all on the board for both of these teams. We're going to see a bunch of different champions hovered here, but it looks like the Graves will get selected. Actor not on the Kindred this time around, but another champion that can farm pretty heavily and do a whole lot of damage in the late game.
Do expect this to go to Actor. Played a phenomenal Graves game in the open qualifiers. I believe it was one that they ended up losing, but he looks incredibly well versed on the champion and really was able to showcase some talent with it. It's also worth mentioning that there's a slight chance that this gets flex picked up into the top lane, but not just yet going to be the case. And you talked about it, Grapes, that the Kindred comes through. It's not just an Actor pick. Citywoody more than adept at this one too, and Taco Gaming say, hey, thank you very much.
I watched a game of Taco Gaming in the open qualifiers, and Citywoody played the Kindred, went really off in that game, maybe like 7-0, and then just started building tank because he knew that he had enough damage to just take down anybody no matter what. So that's kind of the precedent that has been set here by Taco Gaming with the Kindred pick, with the Lulu as well, potentially going towards Rovex, even more facilitation for this jungler.
Yeah, and there's that Galio pickup for Ariandel, one of his most comfortable champions pretty much ever. Definitely expect to see this one going to the mid lane. And it sets up for what we were expecting to be a fairly supportive mid lane matchup. There is the small possibility that Ayakura takes this Lulu into the mid lane, but the Camille locked in. Again, that Jax ban was multifaceted. It forces a Gwen ban from Taco Gaming, and then they also get to set up for this nice Camille matchup as well. If Taco Gaming want, they can take a top matchup into this specifically, or they risk now running double bans coming through once again by Supernova if they want to take away something like the Renekton, for example, which is known to have a really good laning phase versus the Camille.
Ooh, Veigar lock in for Ayakura. You've seen Ayakura play with champions that generally get a lot of priority in the laning phase. Maybe a bit of a step in a different direction this time around. I see Ayakura as a player. She has a whole lot of versatility. You know, last split being known for playing champions like the Zed or in the Akali. And this split, so far in the open qualifiers, things like that Karma in terms of just getting out on the map. So the Veigar, another deviation, will do fine into the Galio, get a pretty free laning phase, and do a whole lot of damage later on.
Okay, so they ban away the Caitlyn to sort of suggest that this entire Supernova composition wants to win early, and our theory, our run coming into Supernova was that if they're going to win, they're going to win in the early stages. That's how they're going to best take down Taco Gaming. And this draft so far really endorses that. Galio, not the greatest late game champion. Camille, though, does certainly scale up very well into those later stages. But if they have just pushing lanes everywhere, they can try to choke out Taco really early on. They get rid of the Caitlyn to prevent that one from happening. They may look to take out another lane bully in response. Something like the Lucian Misfortune, even if that champion still exists in the meta. You know, we're looking at those lane bully ADCs to be potentially taken off the board.
More target towards the bot lane. Tomato is a player that can play a whole lot of different picks. I think that's one of the big reasons Supernova decided to go with him in the bottom side. Jhin and the Caitlyn are two that he is certainly comfortable on and will be taken away. Eclipse the target here for Supernova. They have not locked in a top laner for Eclipse, as the Camille has already been locked in. Fiora does pretty well into the Camille. You can parry away from the hook shot. We'll see what that final ban is before the R4.
Yeah, going to likely just be another top matchup that Meslo does not want to play up against. And for the rest of Supernova's composition, they're actually going to go for a Cogmo ban. Interesting. Okay, so they're, you know, quite willingly as well, and quite rightly, I think, taking away a really nice AD pairing with the Lulu. There's still Twitch on the board. There's still Vayne on the board. If Taco Gaming want to go for a really late game scaling composition, they can opt into one of those ADCs. But so far, they're limited in what they can do in the early stages. Is largely going to be revolving around that strong top lane matchup that they're building themselves up for. Don't necessarily need to pick the ADC here because they can see what they're going up against top lane. That's for Carly. This could be a flex pick, Grapes. This is weird.
It could be.
Well, then it's
Gorka
Veigar
could play
top.
the Veigar. I think we were talking about this before the show ended up starting. Aikura has an account called Ayukali, I think, where she only plays Akali games.
Yes.
And that could be something that does pretty well into Galio. When I was thinking about Akali, I was probably thinking about Aikura and then Meslo up in the top side here for Supernova as players who could pick up that champion. But now we're in a bit of a weird spot. Not entirely sure where Taco Gaming's composition lies. Maybe Eclipse wants to pick that one up. What we do know is the bot lane for Supernova is being locked in with the Varus Nautilus.
Okay, so Varus, that utility ADC who's starting to poke his head back into the meta and just set up for what is once again a fairly lane dominant setup. They've got this Varus, they've got a Nautilus to capitalize on pretty much any out of position support or ADC alike, and Varus known as the ADC that can tend to bully out laning phases as well, so they stay true, stick to that trend. And Taco Gaming, they do it. They lock it in. The Vayne comes through. They're going full scaling here, Grapes. They've got the Vayne. They've got a Kindred. If we get to this late game, Taco Gaming is going to be so beneficial.
So it is not I was thinking, oh, could it be Vayne top and then like Veigar bot and we just do some like really weird things? It is just Gorka on the Vayne. It is Eclipse on the Akali into Meslo, and what a composition that Taco Gaming has set up. Whole lot of spice, whole lot of fire sauce to add in to their name. And I think it is interesting, Rude, because we were saying how Supernova might want to try to find advantages in the early game. With the composition that they set up against the composition that Taco Gaming set up, I could see a world where that possibility really starts to open up.
Yeah, the onus is entirely on Supernova this game. They have got one plan and one plan alone. It is win the early game. If they can't do that, they're going to be done for. They have absolutely no chance at trying to make these late game team fights happen. Because there's two carries, right? The power of Camille Galio is that they can isolate one target, they can take them down, and that is the way to get rid of a hyper carry. There are two of them for Taco Gaming. You take down Sidiwiddy, great, Gorica's going to be there. You take down Gorica, Sidiwiddy's going to be there. And the issue with this hardcore dive style that Supernova have drafted for themselves is that Lamb's Respite is a direct counter. Even if you go onto Gorica and you get that Hero's Entrance, the Hextech Ultimatum combo, if Sidiwiddy can just hop on top of Gorica and he can buy a little bit of space to get paired up with that Kindred, you can just Lamb's Respite, you can immune the entire combo. So Supernova have got to get those leads early. They have to just wallet check them in the early stages of the game and make that Lamb's Respite not matter. Or the later this game goes, the harder it gets for this Supernova team.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Lamb's Respite being a really great defensive tool. There's also the Veigar Cage, the Akali Shroud, Rovex here with a whole lot of peel, and Gorica with a ton of self-peel on his own with the Condemn, with the invisibility that you can get in the final hour. A whole lot of disengage to Supernova's engage, and it's that clash of playstyles, the early versus late, engage versus out, that is really going to be interesting to see as we head into this game.
And there's always this random X factor now in the Taco Gaming composition where they have an Akali in the top lane that doesn't seem to fit necessarily what the composition is wanting to do. Taco going to be very well versed at trying to fight front to back, and then they've just got Eclipse, who's going to kill Tomato on cooldown, right? If you get to that point where Akali has got 1 to 2 items, she 1v1s ADCs. That's not an issue particularly for Akali. She's turned into, with this durability patch, a very consistent DPS style of champion, using the passive procs, using her shroud to buy a little bit of time and reset the ability to get going.
We'll see if the early game for Supernova can prevail as we are onto the Rift for game 1. Both of these teams' first forays into the summer split group stage. The 5-stack bot lane for Supernova. They have really solid level 1. A whole lot of crowd control and a lot of damage. They're going to force Skorica out, get a really nice ward in. And a pretty good setup for Supernova. They established the level 1 dominance, and they're going to play towards it respectively.
I mean, Supernova know as well as we do, right? They have to win early, and they're trying to make the plays happen from 30 seconds into this game. Predator start for Ariandel, so his playmaking capabilities begin at level 1 if he elected to take the Idol of Duran, but looks like, you know, going to go for some more laning elemented skill choices so far.
I would say that's...
Look at where Actor is.
Actor? Let me see, where's Actor? Actor is in the... Oh, he's in the
There's a
bottom
ward. This
side
ward still
Tribe
sees
Rush
them.
on the side of Taco Gaming. Yeah, I believe Tomato and Pluto are going to be seen coming into here, and Eclipse placed a nice ward in onto the Supernova blue buff as well. So it might just be Supernova opting for vertical jungling. They see the ward here. The sweeper is not going to spot it out by Pluto. And we'll see what City Witty decides to do. How will this Kindred react?
No. This is such good prep and scouting by Taco Gaming. They knew exactly what Supernova were going to go for. They put a ward down in a position that sees them, but that doesn't see, that doesn't get seen by a sweeper. And they've read this early game like a book for Supernova.
Yeah, and keep your eyes on City as we take a look at the rest of the jungle clears. It looks like Actor will finish off this Gromp as well. As City Witty will complete the Raptors here. So vertical jungling likely imminent here with the ward being there. For the moment, looks like things are just going to be going fine and danding for both of these sides.
If you now we saw at the bottom there, Tomato's celebrity of choice. Okay, never mind. Well,
we'll come back to that because I think it is pretty important.
And Ariandel's here.
Ariandel is here. Ayakura on the foray as well, but it's just going to be an early taunt. So City Witty has been spotted out. Meslo in the area as well, but it is a 3v2 on the side of Taco Gaming. City Witty doesn't have the smite just yet, so it will be that 50-50 for the objective. Watch the patience as well, and it will be Ariandel securing the blue buff, and he'll flash away to safety. Now can Meslo survive? Has the ignite taken onto him? 2-man taunt coming out from Ariandel, and here comes Actor as well. The early game works out for Supernova, and they will pick up first blood. Ayakura gets a return by taking down the side of Meslo, but Supernova, they're still chasing. They want blood. They want more kills. Justice Punch will land. The taunt will connect as well. Feed Actor, the name of the game, and he is 2-0 3 minutes in.
Beautiful start for Supernova. They catch out Ayakura. She's used the flash to find the kill, and they can't get away. Really well played by Supernova. They use that warding from Meslo early on, spot out City Witty going a little bit over aggressive in the jungle, and get away with murder. Now Ayakura, she spotted Actor going up into this top side, but she may get repeat ganked.
Yeah, no flash here, no TP as well. A death here would be so unfortunate for Ayakura. Pluto joining the foray as well, flashing forward for the dredge line, and Actor picks up yet another kill. He has as many kills as he has jungle camp so far in this game, and Supernova off on the right start.
Oh, the game plan right now. Supernova are just ticking everything off. At this point, City Witty, you just have to tank, unfortunately, right? You're trying to take down that blue buff. You do go for the coin flip. Smite is up. Within now 2 seconds, as soon as he flashes over that wall, Smite is available, and then 3-man taunt from Ariandel here to get both of the carries on the top side of this map. Ayakura, she flashes forward, she collects Meslo, but that's a worthy trade, and at this point, with no turrets nearby, Ayakura's got a long walk to safety, and unfortunately, those cooldowns just start to cycle back up. And you quite rightly mentioned it, Graves. Actor is the member of this top side that Supernova are going to look to facilitate. We talked about it before the draft even started. They kept Ariandel to facilitate their jungler and picked up a highly intensive mechanical player to use this mid lane priority. So far, Supernova have played to their strengths beautifully.
And you know, sometimes we talk about the narrative, we talk about the play style, and it doesn't go the right way. Sometimes another player ends up stepping out, and that's an interesting thing to mention on itself. This is exactly what Supernova we were expecting them to do and what they are doing at the moment. They are just
Just give him
playing
the
around
pass.
Actor. They're giving him a mid-wave as well, just so continuing the push, funneling as much resources as they can into this superstar young jungler. And it's working out well for them. Supernova, the underdogs in this series, up 2k gold at this point in the game.
Really interesting there. They cheat toward the bot lane to potentially suggest a dive, but what they could do is go up and 3-man in the top lane. It looks like it's going to be neither of the sort, and just sort of a Rift Herald secured instead of anything else. It denies the crab from Sidiwidi, and that's his mark that he would have loved to have taken initially taken down. I think he's probably still on 0 stacks unless he got a nice coin flip off of that. I don't even think he got to the first crab, right, because of all the exchanges. So 0 stack Kindred is utter depression station, honestly. This is not the good place that you want to be in. It's going to be really difficult to get back.
An interesting stat, actually, Rude, that we were talking about for Taco Gaming is I believe they have the fastest win. They have the fastest game time, win or loss, throughout the open qualifiers out of the 16 teams that did qualify. And they have the late game scaling composition right now, and they right now are falling pretty far behind to Supernova, a team that will win early if they, you know, have some sort of lead. So the numbers don't work well for Taco at the moment, but they're playing a style that is a little bit different than maybe the rest of the open qualifiers have resulted for them. Up on the top side already. Ultimate advantage here for Eclipse. Will the perfect situation come through? There it is! Almost getting the return, but they will get the one back. And now, bottom lane dive coming out from Supernova as well. Rovex gets instantly deleted. It will be a huge fight that ends up unfolding, though. Event Horizon locking down Pluto. Here comes a hero's entrance. It won't get a knockup as Sidiwidi will jump over the wall to try and survive. Ariandel wants to continue the play. Doesn't have the flash just yet, but can close the range here with the taunt. Sidiwidi is in danger here, is in a whole lot of trouble if it ends up connecting. There's the taunt, but a nice Event Horizon will keep the Kindred alive.
Okay, so a nice exchange down on the bot side. Supernova's early game plan still coming largely to fruition. Gorica forced to burn both summoners, still goes down. Rovex goes down, not even using the heal there. And they get a load of wasted gold, or not wasted gold, a load of gold denied away from Gorica. There's a massive wave lost under the turret, as Tomato is able to, you know, keep that wave in and get a load of experience. Look, this is one wave that's denied. I think there's a second one that crashes in and is lost afterwards. And it's super easy to execute on Rovex right here. Unfortunately, a bit of a burned flash for nothing. And the hook from downtown, it is absolutely gorgeous. Gorica burns flash, burns cleanse, but red buff or red smite is enough to seal the deal. They do lose Pluto, but that's a trade once again that you're willing to take both bot lanes for just the support.
Oh!
Absolutely lovely.
Oh my god.
Any double the jungler's golds?
That
Sidiwidi
is...
has 2k total. Actor has
It's literally
4.2.
double. It's literally double right now. For
Look at the item
Actor.
difference. This is,
It's
this is as bad as it
versus
gets.
double longsword and a dagger. So
Moon
effectively,
quiver components.
yes. So not even the noon quiver right now for Sidiwidi. Thank you, production. Yes, that is a lot
That
of
is a
gold.
lot of gold. Not
that's
wrong.
that's a lot of damage. Basically,
That is
gonna come out from Actor, and for Taco Gaming, they're gonna have to do what Tomato's idol and Taylor Swift might say, and shake it off a little bit. Have a whole lot of scaling
nice.
to go, and if they can, you know, stabilize a little bit. I see it right here. There's the condemned to the wall. Pluto not landing that dredge line successfully. Feeding a kill into Gorica or City would be absolutely crucial, and they get one right back.
Yeah, a little bit greedy from Pluto, unfortunately, not flashing the initial condemn when it's going to stun you into the wall. It all but seals your death regardless. Almost got away with the second flash, but just flash initially and you'd be out to safety. Either way, it's not without its own cost. At this point, Taco Gaming has to go for these plays to generate some advantages, but when they're so far behind, they're going to lose out on the other side
no
of the
City.
map regardless.
City.
No smite either.
Holding the
Rovex,
breath.
get in there.
Okay, Rovex saves the day. Oh!
Ooh.
Okay, I was
Okay.
just waiting. I didn't want to like say anything because it could have
been nothing.
It could have been nothing. It also could have been a lot. Ariandel does not get the steal on the dragon like he did on the blue buff. Sidiwidi and Taco Gaming will collect the first drake of the game.
And I mean, Actor and Meslo up on this top side may just collect the entire turret. Graves very good at taking these turrets if you can get all 3 shots down. Okay, red smite Q auto was nice.
We'll get the plate, but here comes Iker with the Predator. Smoke screen will deny some
Double
time. And a
stun.
nice 2-man stun. And now Eclipse can do so much work. Hero's entrance though coming in. And that's a Camille Galileo locking down Ayakura. She will go down here. 1-for-0 for Supernova up in the top side of the map.
And that's the first glimpse of what could very well be the spells to success for Supernova. Galio Camille is very good at isolating one single target, and we were at a point where Sidiwidi wasn't even A, at level 6, or B, there to help out. He's going to have to be incredibly adept at reading the plays of Supernova and seeing where they go on the Rift for this initial game. To start out, it's not gone too well for them just yet. Ariandel able to push in this mid-wave and continue to build out this lead. Actor 4-0-2 went back and got himself an extra serrated Dirk just in case the damage that he has already isn't enough, and has that Rift Herald in his inventory, so if there's anywhere that he wants to just randomly break open, he's pretty much at liberty to do so. Without a doubt, the strongest man on the Rift right now.
Yeah, I think he has enough damage right now, Rude. If you can clear the Krugs that efficiently and that quickly at this stage in the game, it means you have a lot of damage. It means you're pretty far ahead. So, Actor, a newcomer here for Supernova, doing really well. Nearly taking away that one as well. And Sidiwidi in a whole lot of trouble. Has to burn that Lamb's Respite. And they might try to go for the turn here. Depth Charge will be on to Gorica. There comes the Wild Growth as well. Tomato with the Piercing Arrow going to take the kill onto City. And Rovex will fall as well. Gorica trying to outplay here in the 1v4. Landing some nice silver votes in on the Tomato. Ayakura doing a decent amount of zoning as well. But Tomato will survive. Gorica falls. Ayakura can't do a damn thing about it.
19 HP, thank you, production. That was as close as they were going to get to taking down Tomato.
Oh, no.
And now Ayakura, unfortunately.
She can maybe go for one kill, but not going to be anything in return. Will be the turret falling. Ayakura not even able to land that Primordial Burst onto a primary target. Another kill in favor of Supernova. It is working all towards them right now.
Wow. They are doing what they were supposed to. I don't know what else to say. They were supposed to win the early game. They're 7k up, 6k up at this point. Actor blind jumps over the wall, manages to, I think, get the crump with his smoke screen brutally enough, and then that Hex Flash over the wall from Pluto sets up for a nice double knock-up, piercing arrow from the Chain of Corruption, which basically stops Gorica from being able to commit onto Tomato to begin with. And this double stun from Ayakura, it makes me think that potentially Gorica gets this, but just in time does that Justice Punch comes through, and then as that whole sequence, the chain dive comes through, they quite wisely just finish off the turret first, don't actually tank, and able to take down this kill as well quite nicely.
Ayakura was so close to just getting a triple kill there as well. Like that's the scary thing about it too. Really nice spacing there by Actor and by Tomato, making sure that they were not in range for that Primordial Burst, did not have the chance to go down there. Pluto, though, might be in a bit of trouble, going to get locked in here by the Vagar cage. Actually, is just tanky enough to survive. That's what the Wall of Death does at this point in the game.
Yeah, and especially without Primordial Burst on Ayakura, she can't finish the job on to Pluto there. You know, Chain of Corruption used defensively, so it does limit the playmaking capabilities of Tomato specifically, but that's not the worst case scenario, as now Eclipse potentially in a bit of trouble.
See if he can outplay this. Actually looking to go aggressive here. There comes the,
yeah, Actor's too strong. You can't do that.
I was going to have like a whole thing about how the ulti might come through, can it be the trade, and then I saw one shot coming out from Actor, and that was just, and then Eclipse was down to 20% HP. So yeah, it's looking pretty bad for Taco Gaming right now.
So their way to stall out this game is through using wave play. Unfortunately, their wave play champs are either Melee in the Akali, who's trying to use 5-point strike to get rid of things, or Vagar, who, you know, obviously is wanting to use Q to farm minions. That's not going to be a luxury that Ayakura has this game. We'll have to use that Dark Matter to try and burst out the backline in its entirety. But she's so far behind, it might be even more difficult. Ariandel might just win a solo kill.
It's a lot of damage. Like, not obviously it's Galio. Do you remember that bug with Galio when it first came out, where you could just like the Q would just like one shot like Dragon and Baron?
Yes, I do.
We're not at that point yet, but we are at a point where Ariandel can certainly fend for himself, as even though being, you know, that facilitating pick in the mid lane does a whole lot of damage as well. 9 assists.
And this is like the perfect game again to signify what Supernova wants to do. For just the entirety, it feels like, of what they built up this composition, this team of players to do. It's use Ariandel to move around the map and set up Actor on a carry champion, and that has worked flawlessly thus far. Taco Gaming, they're going to look to make a bit of a cross-map play here. Top lane was, of all places, the least touched by Actor and his absolute dominance so far on the Rift in the game. So there's a chance that Sidiwidi can try and make a play up here on this top side, but remember, Hero's Entrance is available, and if, you know, Ariandel is pretty much anywhere near, there's nothing to be done on either side of the map.
City does get that 1 Gromp steal, but in a jungle matchup that we were hyping up going into this series, it has been all Actor. And for many people who've been following the amateur scene for a while, you know, a lot of people haven't really gotten to see much of Actor. Very new, coming fresh out of solo queue basically, but is really showing what, you know, these new players here in North America are capable of carrying this Supernova team so far in this game 1.
I want to draw your attention now to Citywitty's build path, because you mentioned as well in the draft that he's not adverse to going for tank when he's ahead, but equally, I remember watching the game of Taco Gaming versus Cincinnati Fair, where both junglers just were it was Kha'Zix versus Kindred, and they both built Frozen Heart second item because of how powerful the item is relative to the champions they're playing against. Yes. It is, and Citywitty with those 2 cloth armors, I imagine it's going to be the same thing. At this point, this far down, I don't know how much it's going to do for him.
It would be interesting to get a mark check whenever we could, just to see, you know, where Citywitty stands, because when you are Kindred, you know, getting damage off the marks is a pretty crucial part. But yeah, 2 at 15 minutes, a little bit, you know, far behind, to say the least, in terms of where this Kindred wants to be in terms of damage. And so getting that, and also having the Frozen Heart second item, not going to do a whole lot there for this jungler.
The pressure's not over for Supernova. Well, okay, hold on. They have Herald and they have a dive.
Okay, there's a dive. Ayakura has the Wild Growth on top of her, but I don't know if it's going to matter hold too much. Collateral damage secures the kill. Acura now legendary on the Graves, and Citywitty will be forced to pop that Lancer Spite. Watch Gorka, though, on the flank, doing a big chunk of damage. Actor will fall. Big shutdown into the hands of the Kindred, and Eclipse picks up another one onto Ariandel as well. They finally get one back onto the Akali, but a good turnaround coming out from Taco Gaming.
This is a big win for Taco. 1,000 gold into Citywitty, and the shutdown on the Graves on Ariandel, and they get an extra kill to boot. 3 for 2. They do lose their mid lane tier 1, but they win the fight overall. We've got a replay here, and you can see Supernova this time just slightly overextend. Everybody on Taco Gaming is beelining it to this mid lane play. Unfortunately, the Lamb's Respite here buys so much time for Citywitty to stay alive. Does the same thing for Actor as well. Importantly, a really good condemn from Gorica. Puts him into the wall at the timing when he would have loved to pump out a load of damage when that Lamb's Respite goes off. Eclipse goes down on the backside but takes down Ariandel as a trade, and Taco Gaming are the ones that come out on top in the fight. You can see that just off of that fight alone, look at where that it's a little dent in what is a massive lead already.
I think that 1 dent is just the 1k goal shutdown right there.
Yes.
So that's pretty good for Taco Gaming. They're taking the right step. Again, we talked about the scaling, and if they could get to the late game, how big it will be. But Citywitty picking up that shutdown, also picking up 4 marks now on the Kindred, so finally getting a little bit extra range, getting that next step towards that late game potential.
I was just about to say that the pressure's not over for Supernova. Yes, they've got this lead, but they need to close out. This is still by no means a 1 game. They are in a very good position to take the win, but they still have to close it out. They still need to use their fundamentals to get themselves the win here, because 1 mistake, 1 misstep, and Taco Gaming are right back in it. That was a slight wobble. It wasn't a complete fall off of the game just yet, but if they make another mistake like that and Taco Gaming are able to punish again, the scaling of this Taco Gaming composition is going to be so important and so prevalent. If those slight mistakes do start to come through, you can still be down gold on this Taco Gaming composition. With the way that the momentum of the game is going to work and how fast we expect the Supernova comp to fall off, they need to make sure they're continuously finding leads.
And it has been a bit quiet since that initial, set of engages here. But I'd have eaten my words just now as Mezzo's looking to go in here onto Eclipse. There's the Camille Galio once again. Eclipse will get knocked up. Can they escape? There comes the taunt. Ariandel will secure his first kill of the game.
Yeah, Zhonya's is needed pretty much immediately for Eclipse. It's pretty much the only way to get out from just getting chain CC'd by Ariandel and Meslo and taken down. If you're just going to keep playing in that side lane, it's something that is unfortunately going to be pretty mandatory for you as an Akali, so Eclipse may look to try and invest into that to stop just getting continually picked off by this Camille Galio combo. Ultimately, they're right. What does that kill get them? It's going to be priority around this bot lane because Eclipse is dead on the spawn. Ariandel needs to be careful not to just face check into Ayukura plus Rovex, Citywitty, and Gorica. With that Drake spawning, it looks like, in fact, the Supernova is going to concede it, and Eclipse being dead doesn't actually matter.
3 ultimates down on the Supernova side, and It looks like they still want to fight. Watch the TP coming in from Eclipse. Ariandel on the wrong side of things right now, but can Supernova do anything to save this fight? Already popping the Lancer's fight. Citywitty likely will fall as the sacrifice, as Meslo is very low, and Ayakura will burst him down with the Primordial Swords. Eclipse nearly getting sniped out here by Tomato, and Gorica has the shield bell pop to cleanse away. Actor still alive. He has a Triumph proc, and he does not fall to the auto attack coming out from the Veigar. The backs will come through from the Soul Laners, but Supernova still winning 3-1.
1 for 3, as you mentioned. It goes the way of Supernova, and Ayakura should be able to CC her way to safety. But they do lose the Drake here, Supernova. Obviously, when you play these early game snowball compositions, you tend to want to be going for a very early Soul. Imagine if they had that Chemtech Soul point right now. They'd be set up for a 5-minute fight, and that sort of segues you into a beneficial spot when your composition maybe isn't as strong. We've got a replay, though, of that fight around the Dragon, and Supernova, they weren't set up for this really at all. They were kind of just blindly walking in here. Actor dashes over the wall blindly into the pit, doesn't quite find the smite, Citywitty with a near-perfect smite. And again, buys a lot of time with the Lamb's Respite, as Gorica is getting a lot of damage out onto Meslo, but he's still just having that wallet check, and Actor flashes forward. He's got 3 victims in his sight. He picks Rovex, unfortunately, and then Gorica, unfortunately,
That's insane.
autos Tomato. Could have got the kill, but autoed Tomato instead of Actor. 600 gold that they would have loved to be picking up, but unfortunately, doesn't quite go their way.
I really want to shout out 2 players there in that fight. You know, that maybe who didn't stand out specifically. Meslo buying so much time on the front line, soaking up tons of damage and ending up, I think, nearly surviving at the end of that. And also Tomato landing in crucial damage and almost taking out Eclipse on the backside. Tomato, we haven't talked about it very much here, Rude, but he's quietly 5-0-3 with 2.5 completed items at this point. Meslo in a bit of trouble right now. Can the dash come over here by Eclipse? Not just yet. Citywitty gonna flash over to try to get the kill, and it will be 1 into the Kindred.
We started Baron, but this is a fairly slow Baron here. Act is actually a main source of DPS. This is a lethality Baron, not an attack speed one. 4K on the Baron. Can Taco Gaming get here? Remember, they have numbers for this.
Yeah, they have to run. Taco Gaming with the numbers advantage, and with a lot of the team fight tools still on the table. Nice little cheeky smite out of Actor. He's still winning out in the jungle 1v1 for now. But for Taco Gaming, in this 4v5, they can look to pressure here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and it was this Frozen Heart Kindred. If we look at the damage profile of Supernova...
Oh, watch the hook landing onto Ayakura. Is rather tanky in with the Everfrost will connect. Pluto can't join the fight just yet, but it's all Ariandel on the backside of this fight. He will nearly get bursted down, though, as Gorica is starting to do damage here with the Silver Bolts. Nobody on the other side of the fight that ensued ended up going down either. So it's just everybody going for the resets here. Baron up, Dragon in 2 minutes.
And that may not seem like an important play, but that was a move made by Supernova that they really didn't come out on top of. They lost a player in the bot lane, and they lost a tier 1 turret. They got nothing for it because they tried to go for the Baron, but had to peel off because Taco Gaming could get there in time. Meslo, with his pathing up through the river, actually helped out and let Citywitty and Eclipse get closer to the pit in itself. And I was just about to mention that the damage profile, as well, as if we didn't illustrate enough that Supernova are going to have a tough time the later the game goes. Yes, Ariandel is this Galio who's building magic damage items. First of all, he's the only magic damage source from this Supernova team. Second of all, these are very low damage AP items as far as they go. These are very defensive Everfrost plus Banshee's Veil. Sometimes a Galio can deal a lot of damage. If we're looking at AP items, this isn't the build to go for to be the hard carry. But again, that's not what he was playing for. It's more on, can this Supernova squad end before Taco Gaming start to win out handily in the fights.
And I think it goes back down to, like, Supernova's desire and honestly need to end the game before the scaling from Taco ends up going up. They say, we'll pick the champions that get the most priority regardless of the damage type that they end up having. Even with Ariandel having the lone magic damage here, the damage does fall off, as you said. So for Taco Gaming, as the armor stacking will come through here by Citywitty and the like, it is, a sign of hope, a bastion of possibility here for the team.
And remember that this is a Frozen Heart Kindred as well, just to add the final nail in the coffin that armor is going to have an insane amount of value. But Citywitty continually looking for stacks. It hit 4 quite a while ago. Ariandel finds 1.
Taunt here comes the depth charge as well. Gorica knocked up, will get saved here by the Lamb's Respite. And now the Vayne can start to do some work, staying alive, and Mez will be the first casualty. Here comes Eclipse, and Taco Gaming might try to turn the game around. The Akali will get bursted, but the Event Horizon lands in on the 2. There goes Tomato and Pluto. Actor still trying to survive here in the 3v2, but City Witty has been unlocked and has enough armor to survive. A triple for the Kindred, and it's gonna be 4 as Ariandel nearly dies, has to dash away. What a fight coming out from Taco Gaming. What a fight coming out from City Witty.
The window's closing, Grapes. Taco Gaming are slowly slamming it shut. Supernova is still 5k gold ahead, but they can't win a team fight. City Witty saves the day with the Lamb's Respite, keeps Gorica alive, and then they do enough. I mean, Ariandel's dead here. That's just a given.
Trying to go for a turn. Almost Ayakura.
Execute.
Very low HP.
Oh.
Can the TP come through? Ayakura can't go in. She can't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a small win right there. It is still soul point for Taco Gaming. They lost the fight, but Ariandel getting that kill, getting that TP out safely. Let's take another look at this fight. They locked down Gorica early, but again, it's the disengage that Taco Gaming is able to provide.
Yeah, Cleanse Flash come through, and you think that it's doomed, right? You see Gorica get locked up by them both, but Lamb's Respite does just enough, and then once again, it's buying space in that front line. Eclipse takes all of the focus, and a double stun from Ayakura just sets people up for City Witty to knock on down. And at this stage of the game, Lulu Kindred, we talked about that Frozen Heart having value. It means City Witty is an absolute monster in that 1v1 up against the Graves, and when you've got a Lulu in your back pocket, it's just impossible to go down. It feels like Taco Gaming have gone back into the game against all of the odds. The biggest gold lead it looks like they had was 201, maybe 20, I'm not sure, but...
It might be 20.
Yeah, exactly. They're still in this game.
And as you see, the mountain is starting to go downhill here for the likes of Supernova. The scaling is here. Gorica has 2 items right now, also potentially working towards... maybe not Frozen Heart, but I think a Randuin's here on Gorica would be really good. That ends up getting picked up. Even more armor for this Taco Gaming team to just withstand the pressure that Actor can provide.
Honestly, I don't think Frozen Heart would be the worst thing. Obviously, you don't tend to want to double aura up on that Frozen Heart, but there's not too much bad things about Frozen Heart, honestly.
No, definitely not. That item, there's a reason that Kindred's building it, right? And Vayne as well.
Oh.
And here comes City Witty. Actually, Tomato will go down. City Witty popping the stopwatch as well to stay alive. Wild Growth on top. The toss will get the kill as Actor will get a crucial shutdown onto the Taco Gaming jungler. 4 for 4 right now. 2 crucial marksmen for both teams have fallen. Baron on the table right now. Here comes Meslo. Ayakura with a very, very good flash away.
And tension now building on the Rift for this game 1, Grapes, as we get a 1-for-1 in a fairly low action exchange. Supernova with the jungler advantage are going to look to go for this fight. Stopwatch and Stasis is 2 available for the Taco Gaming side, just the 1 ready for Supernova. This Baron's going down, and
has to be
Ariandel's
careful
just
here.
dead.
Gorica has to try to go for this kill, but this Baron has just been taken, and that's the power of taking down the enemy jungler, taking down the strongest member right now on Taco Gaming. Supernova, with that advantage, with that smite, will secure Baron Nashor, so suddenly the gold swinging right back up into their favor, and they might have an avenue back into this game.
And it feels weird, but you're not wrong in saying getting an avenue back into the game. They were up like 5k gold, and it's still not incorrect to phrase it that way, because Taco Gaming had done the hard work. They'd started finding the fights where their composition had sort of outscaled, where they were going to be winning out on those exchanges, but getting the 1-for-1 turned out to be very beneficial for Supernova. They capitalized on it, they get this Baron, and hopefully with it, they can start to break open the base, at the very least extend another gold lead.
City, no stopwatch now, has to be careful. Gonna get taunted up here by Ariandel. Barely is able to proc that Lamb's Respite in time, but the rest of Taco Gaming, they're not in position just yet. Event Horizon comes in, watch Eclipse on the flank. Can definitely do a whole lot of work if the rest of Supernova are in the wrong position. I don't believe anybody on Supernova know. They have the Baron, they're gonna keep pushing mid.
Really good by Meslo. He's just running anchor, playing that marking duty, making sure that Eclipse can't get free access to this backline.
Inhibitor tower now under fire. Taco Gaming, they have to go for the backs. They are behind Supernova right now, but it could work to their benefit with the flanks here. Ariandel and the rest of the team will try to be escorted down to this bottom side. Hex gates were utilized, and the mid inhibitor falls.
Okay, again, just a lot of tension because Supernova are playing tricky now. They're going for these evasions of skirmishers and looking into playing the map very well, using their Baron to, as we've already seen in the mid lane, break open the base. Now they're trying to do it in the bot lane. They have a huge wave stacked up. Triple cannon minions wailing down on this turret, and Actor walks in for one auto, it falls.
Oh, Tomato landing this root in onto Ayakura, forced to pop the stopwatch. Eclipse dashing forward and immediately popping his own hourglass. But look at the Hextech ultimatum in onto Gorica. The knockups will land. Gorica dies. Eclipse will get one on the backside and will get another, but will go down to the likes of Ariandel. A double kill was not enough, and here comes Actor. He's still alive, still has the heals, but so is City Witty. Can the damage be through for the Kindred? He'll pick up a kill. City Witty's still alive. City Witty is winning the fight. That is so much damage, so much healing. A triple kill onto the Taco Gaming jungler, and they ace Supernova in their own base.
Taco Gaming, from the depths of despair, from the game almost being over, take the fight. This isn't just a fight. This isn't just a base defense, Scrapes. This is Hextech Soul going their way. City's going to be able to go on over. There's nobody to stop this. And due to those slight lapses early on, we didn't see that, City. There we go.
Yeah, there we
go.
Due
to those lapses early, Supernova have given over the Soul. Rovex is doing his best to clear out these minions. What a huge fight in the base. I thought that was doomed for sure. There was no Lamb's Respite for that fight. Gorica got taken out, and the delay on City Witty was so huge due to the depth charge, but it did not matter. Kindred, Lulu won the fight.
And you have to wonder if that was the last door closing here for Supernova. It's, again, weird to say that when they're still 6,000 gold up. They have the inhibitor, and they were able to win the fights before, getting those crucial picks. But it's all got to be down to City Witty. Can he continue to stay alive and dish out damage? Now has a Randuin's as well as an Iron Elixir on this Kindred. So very, very tanky, as well as 9 stacks on to the passive as well. So kind of becoming a raid boss here, Rude.
Yeah, one away from another range increase, which at this point is kind of scary. You can see he's just dashing forward with reckless abandon.
Ikura chunked down to about half HP to do the collateral damage, but Tomato gets locked up at the stun, and City Witty picks up the kill. Numbers advantage now. 30. Numbers advantage. City Witty continue to dash over. Here we go. Pluto gonna get the knockup in onto the Kindred. Will pop the Lamb's Respite. Actor has to get away now to make sure that the crucial cooldown is all that is burned. Backs starting to come through by Supernova. Bases, structures, turrets, all being destroyed by Taco Gaming. Take a look at Meslo though, still pushing on this bottom side. Eclipse is gonna come to respond to make sure the inhibitor doesn't go down.
There's no Baron, so this is pure champion DPS onto turrets. There's no advantage going either way. Meslo doesn't win this 1v1. He's down a level 3 ultimate for Eclipse, plus Ignite. It's actually not ready. Either way, it's a very difficult fight for him to take the win on. And it's not going to be any inhibitors falling on either side. That mid lane inhibitor still down for Taco Gaming, and they just take their time. I expected with, you know, one dead that would have been a lot more of a... There would have been more consequences to pay for Supernova, but fortunately through the means of the earlier stages of this game, they're still in this one and not losing out just yet. There's one more fight, really, I feel like, before we can say this game is completely toppled over, because we look at the build path for Actor. You might just catch Ayu.
Ikura lands him into the baby cage, so not going to be able to chase him down with that dash. Is that Edge of Night burned? So a slight window of opportunity potentially opening up for Taco.
Let's look at the Summoner's Grapes. City Witty the only one without flash on Taco Gaming, and Tomato the only one, and Pluto as well without flash for Supernova. Very important cooldown.
Big damage on Actor. He will heal it up pretty well, but Teleport will get cancelled away. Eclipse unable to join the fight at this point. Meslo with a nicely timed stopwatch, and Supernova might try to fight this now with the numbers advantage, but Pluto will soon to make it a 4v4. Ayakura picking up another kill.
Yeah, Pluto just goes too far forward, doesn't have the team to back him up on that hook, and despite him missing champions, if you hit a terrain, he's still going to go forth, and with the Baron spawning in 14 seconds, this could be the difference. Ayakura has got teleport, she can go back to base, come back with full HP. Eclipse just used their TP, I think, to try and come into the fight, but with one member down, this is that setup that Taco Gaming need. Baron now just spawned. Are they going to pull the trigger in the 5v4?
Baron has fun. Eclipse pushing this wave out in the mid lane. The inhibitor has respawned.
Go
no more supers. Can Supernova find a pick? Ariandel has the flash. The Predator will land as well.
And Zhonya's.
Here we go. Taco Gaming. They're going for the Baron right now. Eclipse is able to use the perfect execution, get over the wall. Pops the stopwatch, buying so much time. And now they're in the 5v5. What can Taco do in this engage? The answer is not that much because they just want the Baron.
They peeled off the Baron, though. This is reset, and with a mid lane inhibitor exposed, Supernova have got a choice to make. They can either go for the Baron or they can go for the inhibs.
Oh, wait, they're actually pulling off. They see Meslo on the flank. This could be dangerous here now for Taco Gaming, but Ayakura finds a huge cage, and Meslo is down to less than 100 HP. Citywitty still hitting on this front line, has so much armor, yet so much damage, and Ayu still on the backside, lands yet another cage, just zoning out the rest of Supernova, but here they go. Here comes Meslo, here comes Ariandel trying to lock down this Veigar. They will get the kill onto Actor, but it'll be traded right back. Health bar advantage is still in favor. Look at City, dashing forward, he can't be stopped. Ariandel pops the stopwatch, but it will only delay the inevitable. Gorica picking up another kill. The Guardian Angel has been popped. Only Tomato will survive after Meslo falls alongside Pluto, and Taco Gaming go 3 for 1.
Very sloppy, very messy, but in the end, it's
2 for
Taco
1.
Gaming that come out on top. Meslo, surely to fall. Oh,
Here we go, Eclipse. Actually tanking really low. Tomato's still doing a lot of damage, yeah. So not a 3 for 1, is a 2 for 1. I kind of ate my words a little bit there. But it is still Taco Gaming with a win.
They come away with the win, and now finally they can go back to that Baron. It was a conscious decision by Taco Gaming. They expended a lot trying to go and save Eclipse off of that initial play that Supernova tried to make on the entrance to the Baron. A little bit of greedy pathing from Eclipse made that incredibly dicey, but overall they come away with the win. Baron on 4. And they're all the important members as well. Ayakura is likely to be grouped up with whichever ADC is in the mid lane who's going to have that Baron. And then if they put Eclipse into the side lane, they're going to be more than happy, more than ready to use the Baron there as well. We have an Elder Drake spawning in 40 seconds. Supernova have put all of their resources into this bot side jungle, and they have to go for some sort of sneaky play because the team fights at this stage are getting too darn difficult. We've seen it time and time again. Citywitty dashing forward with all this armor, all this damage. 30 seconds on the Elder.
This has to be the win condition. They need a pick and they need the Elder to come back into this game, and they might find the first. Gorka already forced to cleanse. Here's the hook, landing in. Nice stopwatch coming out. The Lambda's Bite buying a whole lot of time, but both for Actor as well. Citywitty is still alive, finally falling, but 2 fall on the other side before all is said and done. Make it a third. Eclipse will pick up a double kill. Meslo is the lone survivor on Supernova, and Taco Gaming did it. They waited their time. They scaled till late, and 36 minutes into this game, they have aced Supernova with the Baron buff and are looking to push to take game 1.
And they're going to get it as well, Grapes. They scaled up, they did their work, and in the final fight, it was Gorica and Eclipse able to rout the entirety of Supernova's backline and just tear them asunder. A very close game here. Taco Gaming may even win at a gold deficit. I think
they finally got it, yeah. They're finally ahead.
Barely positive, but there you go.
What a game coming out from Taco Gaming, and again, coming back to the draft and coming back to the expectations that we were discussing. Supernova's early game looked pretty darn good, Rude. It was just Taco Gaming. They were able to scale up, they were able to hold as much as possible, and suddenly the stocks just climbed up. Yes, new picture. Not the Kazakhs, this time the Kindred, but yet still the Taco buff remains.
And that was, I mean, so close to tippling over the edge, right? Imagine you're basically just on a precipice, bordering on falling off. A stiff wind would have knocked Taco Gaming over to losing if one fight had just gone the opposite direction, but they were always able to just barely right the ship, doing the bare minimum to stay in the game for long enough to let their composition scale up, and eventually a Vayne Kindred with a Lulu behind you is always going to win a team fight in the late game, regardless of what you've drafted. And given the composition for the Supernova team was fairly low damage later on, they didn't really stand a chance at that 35-minute mark.
Man, I mean, yeah, you think at that point, like, oh, it's close, gold lead is still technically in Supernova's favor, but the champions on the other side were just too much. Eclipse had such great flanks on the Akali. Citywitty, of course, with some incredible plays. And shout out to Ayakura and Gorica as well, pumping in huge amounts of late game damage from that backline and staying alive and staying durable amongst the eminent barrage that Supernova was able to provide. But I think Supernova played to their game plan well, and will look to try to just tighten up a few things heading into game number 2. We're going to send it right over to the desk to break down what just happened.